most important part of heating and air conditioning, to be able to read and understand the schematics. We got many types of wiring diagrams are used in refrigeration and heating and air conditioning industry. Excuse me. Most of these diagrams can be used for multiple purposes, such as installation, installing equipment, locating electrical components in the control panel, and troubleshooting. For example, an installation or a connection diagram shows the installation technician how to make the correct electrical connection when installing the equipment. But it does not show enough detail to enable the technician to troubleshoot the electrical system. The pictorial diagram can be used for troubleshooting and installation, but it is extremely cluttered. What I mean by that, by cluttered, that's more dealing with the wiring. It's a lot of wiring inside the system that, you know, most technicians like ourselves, when we finish graduate, that we don't have to really deal with. Our thing is to find the problem. Just like you were saying, you know, dealing with the controls and the safety switches, you know what I mean, to be able to troubleshoot. It ain't so much as going into the electrical part of the system, you know. So that's what it means by that. It's hard to follow for these tasks other than locating the electric components in the control panel. However, if you have to complete rewire, if you have to rewire the whole system, 9 out of 10, we ain't gonna have to do that because, you know, the parts is more cheaper than to go through and rewire a whole system, you know, unless you just want to do something personal or get a little more experience dealing with, you know, wiring the system. And control panel, pictorial diagram would certainly be useful. Now, this is the most important, this is basically the one we're gonna probably use all the time in heating and air conditioning, is the schematic diagram. Is the best diagram overall for the service technicians to use with troubleshooting control circuits. They go back to what I was just saying about the relays, and, you know, just like Mr. Jerry said, on the final, we're gonna have to know how he gonna have problems set up. If you don't know how to read a schematic diagram, you're gonna have problems with it. Yeah, you probably can stumble in and guess and find out or see that it's a wire loose, but that gonna carry you so far. When you're out on your own on the job, you're gonna need to learn how to read a schematic and know all the different components. You know, and me personally, I think it's very important that you understand. I think it's 70, excuse me for 1 second. Like all these different symbols, I think it's very important that you should understand everything in here, all these symbols, because this is part of in the gas and the electrical thing. Then you understand these symbols, then you understand what their functions is and what they're supposed to do. So therefore, when you troubleshoot, you know what these symbols, these signs, these different components supposed to do. Then that way they cut your time as far as working on someone's system. Yes, you know, we get paid for the time and everything, but you want to be honest and have integrity when you're working on people's systems. You don't want to overcharge somebody. Just like this gentleman here said, he said the other day, when they came to work on his system, it was just a run capacitor, but they made him buy the whole motor. You know what I mean? That ain't good business. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say here, if you know and learn schematics and learn how to troubleshoot, then you don't have to do that type of stuff. I think in the long run, you will make more money by being honest.
Yep.
You know, instead of charging him $250, he could have got away with $20. But go back to schematics, that's what I'm saying, is very important. You know, it's about the flip, the turnover. The more you do, the faster you do, the more work you're gonna do. You know what I mean? You have to be efficient. You know, that's by saving money and time. Your time is very important. Yeah, we can lay on the job for 2 or 3 hours and charge this person. But what good is that gonna do? Because, you know, you work in one job where that one job, you could have did 7 jobs. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why schematics is very important. I think that's the foundation. You know, everyone, they made some good points, but Just like this gentleman, he brought up about the machine he was talking about. If you don't know the schematics, how you gonna put that system in? So therefore, that's why it's very important to get the schematics down, to understand the schematics. And I really wanted to talk about our multimeters too, our meters and stuff. But you know, I'm gonna stay on this here because I feel like this is very important. You know, so continuing on. Important tool available to the refrigerator is the most important tool. Like I said, schematics is the most important tool to us. If you don't know how to read a schematic, you're in the world of trouble. You can't go around dealing with people, furnaces, guessing and assuming and calling other people and this and that. What the customer's gonna look, you calling other people and asking them about this problem here, they gonna say, shit, you don't know what you're doing. What are you here for? So that's why I said it's very important, man, that we spend a lot of time, or yourself personally, I take personally, to learning the schematics. It's very important. I keep emphasizing, I know I said it about 10 times, but I'm telling you, it's very important. Then I really wanted to use your joystick to show how inside this furnace, how neat the wires was. That's very important. I wish I could show y'all over my house how crazy it is up in there. Somebody came over there and did it, wires everywhere. You know, that ain't good business, neatness. You know what I mean? It just make me feel like that person really didn't know what they was doing and they didn't care. So that's why I'm saying about schematics. You know, it keeps saying about how important it is. And they call schematics a ladder diagram. I was trying to find the origin of ladder. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Jerry, I was assuming that because they call it a ladder diagram also, it's because of the steps that the components go down in. And they said in between, and it's another thing I learned out of the book, in between the lines, vertical, horizontal, vertical, that they're gonna be in parallel. If you see things vertical, 9 out of 10 in the schematics, they're letting you know that it's in parallel. You know, so, you know, understanding and the ladder, they call it a ladder diagram also. If you hear somebody say a ladder diagram, you know they mean to go get the schematic, because they call that also a ladder and schematic, you know what I mean? You know, whatever you feel is comfortable. I'm comfortable with schematics, you know what I mean? So, because that's what we talk about all the time in the class.